Hey guys, welcome back to Jason and Joni Builds. We are in the shop today working on our 66 Bronco. We need to get our front brakes installed so we can continue on our quest to make this thing a roller. So if you haven't seen the video where we dry fit the Tom's Bronco front disc brake conversion, I'll put a link to the video where we dry fit all the Tom's Bronco disc brake kit at the end of this video, so you can go there and click on it if you want to watch everything where we install it without grease, because today we'll be packing it with grease and you're not going to be able to see the snap ring and then some of the other retainers. But anyways, kind of a two-part. We did it a few months ago. We'll doing the final assembly today. What we're going to do to start with is go ahead and pack our bearings. And if you don't have a automatic bearing packer, which I do, but I'll do mine the old-fashioned way just in case you guys don't. I'll show you what one looks like. So this is a bearing packer. What you would end up doing is remove this, you slide your bearing down, tighten this collar back on it, and then you put your grease gun on it, and it just pumps it full of grease, and it pumps it through the bearing. That just way you get your bearing is good and full. But the grease I have in my gun right now is more for an implement, greasing drive shafts and stuff, so it's a little thinner than I would want to use on wheel bearings. So we're going to pack it by hand. We're going to use some, this is just high temp disc brake wheel bearing grease. This is a trick my dad showed me years ago. I remember as a kid him teaching me how to pack bearings. But you just get a handful of, a palm full of grease, and you just take your bearing and start rolling it in. And eventually you'll see it pop up through the top of the bearing. And then when it does, you know you can move on. You can start seeing it pop out. So if you've never packed a bearing, this is how you do it. Just take your time. You ever see this done before, Joni?
No.
You want to do it?
No.
You sure? You got gloves.
No, it's okay. I'll let you do this one.
Okay, well I got one more. See how it's coming through? Now I turn it around, come the other direction. See that little balls coming up? You can tell it's packed really good.
It's like peanut butter.
Yeah. We're gonna do the other one the same way. So while I have plenty of grease on my hands, I'm gonna go ahead and just use that to make sure we get this shaft greased up well. Your seal from your hub rides back here, so I just want to make sure that has plenty of grease on it. So the disc brake kit from Tom's Bronco comes with new spindles, and so if you, again on the video where we dry fit everything, you have a kind of a thrust washer that goes on the inside, then you have this seal. My spindle is for a Dana 30 without slingers. So your slinger's actually on your axle. My axles don't have them. So it's got the needle bearings inside. They've already been greased. They come pre-greased, but I add a little extra. Then I try to just put some inside the spindle itself. And so we'll go ahead and get it slid on. Okay, so we need to get our backing plates installed next. So I'm just going to go ahead and put a couple bolts in. Alright, so once you get these started, you kind of want to run them down evenly. Just kind of alternate side to side. And as far as how tight these things are, the technical term is about 2 ugga-duggas.
on the bolts. You don't want to go more than that and break them. So if you guys been around shop very much, you know what an ugga-dugga is. Alright, that's good.
Alright, so we've got our bearing greased, and that's what we did the first part of the video. I'll pack the inside of the hub in just a second. But your bigger of your two bearings goes in the back. So we'll get that set in. And now I need to put the seal in. So now I'm just going to drive my seal on. My seal driver isn't big enough, and actually this gold portion is a little raised, so I really don't want to hammer on that. I'm kind of holding my hammer at an angle and just driving the red portion down. So just kind of taking it nice and easy. You can hear it go home. I'm just going to wipe the excess off around the outside. I just want to make sure the seal has got plenty on it. And then I'm going to put a little on the shaft. So I'll take just a little bit here. And then now I'm going to just put a good amount inside the hub, down below the bearing, between the two bearings. So I don't know if you can shine in there. But let's see, get my hand out of the way. Just kind of want to put a bunch in that void. And then this is where the hub will be. When you put the bearing in, the bearing will also push some of this extra down in there with it. Alright, so we have the hub greased up. So we can get this thing slid on. Alright, then we'll take our bearing. We're going to start off with our retainer with the stud.
So the stud's on the outside.
The stud's on the inside.
It looked like you just stuck it down on the outside.
Well, but it's the inside. The stud is
Pointing out.
the stud's pointing out, but it's the first one you put in. All right, let me go get my tool. The kit we got from Tom's Bronco comes with the tool for removing the nut inside the hub and for reinstalling it. So if you don't have one, it will come with the kit as long as you order the same one. Alright, so torquing the nuts, your spindle nuts, I know what I'm feeling for, and I just put them in and I almost got done, and I forget sometimes that some of you may be doing this the first time. I know a lot of you have already done it. So the technical way to do this, I know what I'm feeling for, but the technical way to do this, and the manual says that you tighten your spindle nut. If it's new bearings, you tighten your spindle nut, your inner, to 50 foot-pounds, and then back it off a quarter turn. And so we'll do that and see what it feels like. And what that does is just kind of help seat your bearings and all. So I got my torque wrench, and we're going to tighten it to 50. All right, that's 50 foot-pounds. And it says back it off a quarter turn. No way. So that's the technical way of doing it. Now I'm gonna do it Jason way. So, that cord, see, I can turn that back in with my hand, almost 1/8 of a turn. So you guys can do that if you like, but my way is just snug it again where I can roll it. I'll torque the outer one 80 to 100 is what the manual says. But this one here, let's see, I want the feel I'm looking for, and that right there is it. So I want just a little bit of drag. I know that my bearing's preloaded. So now we'll put the inner lock ring on it. You see, where is my stud? My stud is at 4 o'clock. Okay, so I've got my stud lined up with my lock ring, and now we'll put in the outer jam nut. All right, now we're going to torque it 80 to 100 foot-pounds. Again, this is our outside nut. And this is the one that's tightening against the other hub. 75. All right, that's 100 right there. Now I'm just going to add a little extra grease to my splines here. We'll get our hub. All right, the kit I got comes with the new hubs. I opted for black because we're blacking the Bronco out. So you want to just keep track of these impressions here as upper and lower, because these things have to go a certain way. You can see where the pin is, and right inside you have this other aluminum portion of part of the hub. If those don't get lined up, the hub won't seat completely. Work it until this thing goes in. It'll find a spot and it'll roll right in like it's supposed to. There it is. All right. So I've got my hub portion put in. This is where I differ from what Tom says. They say you don't need this small snap ring, but like in the other video, I feel like you do. And the reason I'm saying is because this axle will float, and if this axle floats in, the back side of the axle will actually strike the axle housing back here. So anyways, just to keep my axle in place, I run the little snap ring. All I have to do is put this bolt in here and kind of pull the axle out towards me a little bit. That gets it out away from the housing where it's supposed to be. And then this will lock it on the hub. But you see, it's right where it's supposed to be. It's not gonna, now my axle won't go back too far and it won't hit that. I really don't understand why they tell you not to use that. And I may be misreading their instructions, but a friend of mine actually watches the channel too. He was installing the same kit, and it said he had the exact same problem. And I told him about mine and told him what I did, and sure enough, I think it helped him. So you guys just watch this real close. Watch that portion real close. So now we'll install our large snap ring, and it just pops right in. All right, now extra grease. And those gaps I was reminding you guys about was right here, right there. So you'll know that you've got this in right if all this snugs down tight. And you see there's no gap. Well, there's a small one, but as soon as I tighten up the bolts, it'll be good to go. And I'm just tightening these down to a comfortable tight. Maybe one ugga. These are small, I don't want to break them. Ugga Dugga will break these off.
Oh, ugga dugga, sorry.
So just give these an ugga.
Just one ugga.
That's right. Okay. Now clean that off. So now we can go on with our caliper and our brake pads. So it's just about like any other set of brakes. Slide your pad in. This is one thing I noticed a little while ago, is these pads are just a little aggravating to hold on to. This inner one keeps trying to fall inside. A lot of times they'll have an upper ring that holds this thing centered in the piston. Well, these just like to fall out. So if I had a complaint, I don't like that. You know, they'll hold themselves in place once you get them there. It's just getting everything put on and holding it with your hands gets a little bit frustrating. There we go. Same thing. All right. Those get ugga dugga. Alright, let's show them this real quick. When you grind off your knuckle, on the Dana 30, you just cut this little triangle here, original, right in there. And you can see now this is my caliper is pushed all the way up against it. I don't have any interference, and the caliper is free to move as you apply the brakes. I opted for steel braided brake lines. So I have my banjo bolt, and then it comes with the new copper washers. So just going to get those started here. And honestly, I'm just going to finger tight them right now. Get those in place, and then my bolt, and then it comes with new clips. Get that pushed on. There we go. Alright guys, thank you for hanging out with me today. We appreciate it. Hope these brakes perform as well as they look. And appreciate all you guys watching. Again, email us anytime at jasonandjonibuilds@gmail.com. Remember to like and subscribe if you can. And we'll see you on the next one. You guys have a great day. Bye.